Hi, who's ready for some tasty, yummy chicken spaghetti? I will teach you how to make this yummy chicken spaghetti. This recipe is much tastier than a couple of chicken breasts combined with some noodles and some jarred sauce. While it's a little time consuming, it's worth the wait. Many years ago, I lived in North Dakota, and one of my neighbors invited me over one evening for dinner, and when I walked in her house, I smelled this heavenly aroma. As we sat at the dinner table, I knew I just had to get this recipe. She was so kind to share it with me, and every time I make this recipe now, my mind jumps back to that day that I walked in her house and smelled that yummy chicken spaghetti cooking, and now I'm going to share it with you. I can see your mouths watering already. I can't wait to hear how much you enjoy this recipe, and have you share with me what you might add or subtract from this recipe to make it your own special yummy chicken spaghetti. My husband is a man with a picky palate. However, this recipe is his favorite. My kids, on the other hand, think it's a little spicy. But like I said, this is a recipe you can add to or subtract to make it your own and still have that great homemade taste. In the next few minutes, I will share with you how to make this yummy recipe. Let's take a look at what we'll need ingredients-wise. First, you want to make sure that you have these special ingredients on hand. You'll need a whole chicken. You'll need two 14.5 ounce cans of Italian style tomatoes, 2 cans of tomato sauce, one 10 ounce can of Rotel. I like to use the mild kind. You will need 1 medium onion, white or yellow, also 1 green bell pepper, and you will also need an 8 ounce container of sliced mushrooms, 2 cloves of garlic, a 16 ounce package of spaghetti noodles, and a couple tablespoons of olive oil, and maybe some salt and pepper or some Parmesan cheese to sprinkle at the end if you desire. Now that we've got our ingredients all together, let's get ready to make this yummy chicken spaghetti. So the second thing we'll need to do is we will need to prepare our chicken. So we want to start with that by opening it up, washing off the chicken. Make sure you take out any neck or giblets that they might stuff in there. We don't need those. You want to go ahead and place that in a stock pot full of water and put it on a high heat. Bring it to a boil and then turn it down just a little bit. You want to continue to boil it until it reaches about 160. You want it to reach 165 degrees. Internal temperature measured in the breast. I cook mine for at least 2 hours usually. After the chicken is done cooking, you want to go ahead and drain that in your sink in a strainer and let it sit there so it can cool. So while that's cooling, we're going to next we want to get out our other ingredients and start getting them ready while the chicken's cooling. So go ahead and get your onion and your bell pepper out and your mushrooms. You want to dice up your onion and your bell pepper and open up your mushrooms, wipe off any dirt that might be in there. After you've got all that together, you want to get out your 12-inch skillet and go ahead and get that heated over a medium heat. Once it's heated, you want to add your 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Get that heated and go ahead and combine your onions and bell pepper and mushrooms into the mix. Put them in the pan and get those sauteing. When the onions and stuff become translucent, go ahead and add in your cloves of garlic. I like to crush them or mince them. Add the 2 to 3 cloves of garlic in there. Let that all come together. Then when your onions become translucent and that sauteed mixtures come together, go ahead and add your can of Rotel and turn it down to a simmer and let that heat for about simmer for about 10 minutes. So while that's simmering, let's go back to our chicken. It's time to debone it. In order to do that, you just want to pull the meat off discard your bones and the skin. You don't need that, of course. And I like to, when I'm deboning it, I put it in a bowl separately. Once you've got that deboned, it's a good, you want to take your bowl of chicken meat and just add it into your mixture on the stove. Just stir it all together, and let it simmer for about 10 minutes. This is a good time to go ahead and open up your cans, your other canned goods. You'll want to open up your 2 cans of your diced Italian tomatoes, your 2 cans of tomato sauce, and after that 10 minutes is up on your sauteed mixture with your chicken and everything, go ahead and add those cans in there. And you want to let that come to a little boil, and then turn it down. Let it give that little simmery boil for about 20 minutes. And this is a good time to go ahead and prepare your spaghetti noodles. Go ahead and get out a large stock pan, fill it with water, bring it to a good boil. Then once it's come to a boil, add your noodles and let those cook usually about 10 minutes or so. Go ahead and drain your noodles, and once you've done that, I like to go ahead and add them back into the pan that they were boiling in. So it's time to bring the chicken mixture and the pasta together. And a good way to do this, there's 2 different ways. Some people like to keep them separate. Add your pasta to your plate, top it with some of your chicken spaghetti mixture. I like to just go ahead and pour it in the pan with the noodles and let it all come together and let that sit for a few minutes. But it's up to you, whatever you like. As you can see, this recipe is a little time consuming, but it's one that has got your mouth watering. So I hope this outline has helped you to get the recipe prepared. As my neighbor shared with me many years ago, and I wanted to help and share it with you. My purpose for this was to teach you just to give you a different spin on chicken spaghetti. And so I look forward to hearing from you what you would add or take from this. And by taking the time to prepare this recipe as lined out for you, it'll also fill your kitchen with that heavenly aroma that I was welcomed with many years ago back in North Dakota in my neighbor's house. So from my house to yours, here's a plate of chicken spaghetti. Thank you.